Hi everybody, Puffin here. I wanted to make a video to talk about self-love. Self-love is something that we do hear. I was going to say you hear it a lot. You don't really hear it a whole lot. You do hear about self-love. It's not really emphasized in our society. Um, when you do hear the term self-love in American society in 2021, 2020, it conjures images of taking a bath or reading a book, doing something to take care of yourself. There's a huge industry of wellness and mindfulness, which are essentially forms of self-love. But it's not really connected like that. Anyway, as often as we hear the idea to love yourself, it's really hard to do it. It's a big problem in our society because we live in a society that really doesn't tell people to love themselves. And even hearing the idea to love yourself can feel complicated or like, oh, that's easy for you to say. And I guess the first point I want to make about self-love is to realize that everyone has problems with loving themselves. And that while those are each person's own problems in a way, they're all part of a framework in our society of having people not love themselves. So we do tend to make more of things and things that we were never in control of or didn't decide, that we feel guilty for, things like that. And in our society, we're not taught to love ourselves or to love each other. And that's what really made me want to make this video, was a conversation that some recent conversations where two phrases had come up, and then I put them together and realized something about it. That one of them is you can't hate anyone else more than you hate yourself, and the other one is you can't love anyone else more than you love yourself. And I think there's certain truth to these concepts that we can understand when we come across them. But when I put them together, it made me think there's these two things going on. And while no one would consciously set out to hate themselves more in order to hate other people more, that sounds stupid, right? No one would consciously set out to do that, although there may be ways in which we do end up doing that. Subconsciously or as part of social programming that we need to resist and overcome. But while no one would do that, the alternative, the converse of loving yourself more so that you can love other people more, that probably brings some people to mind, but not everybody. It's not like we've all decided that, hey, since this path is terrible and really the other thing to do is to be trying to love yourself and love others more, that we're all doing that. There's not enough of us doing that. And to whatever extent we are doing that, we can all do it more. My main point is that loving yourself is best expressed and understood through being able to love other people. And so even if you have problems with the language of someone telling you, love yourself, if you understand that to mean by being able to love other people, or in order to be able to love other people or the world better, it doesn't have to just be people, it can be animals, the environment, whatever. In order to love better, love yourself more, find more love for yourself. And again, when you examine this statement, it would seem stupid to try to hate more, except when you see how much that's what our activities have led to, we're engaged in that stupidity. And the intelligent thing to do would be to pursue love for ourselves and others. And in this sense, love, self-love, and love for everyone is a revolutionary act because we're in an oppressive society. It might not be entirely oppressive. We have great ideals, and lots of ways we try to live up to them, but lots of ways we fall far short of living up to those ideals. And so part of that society, to allow people to accept injustice and problems in society, is to just make everybody feel like, well, they're not worth anything, or they're not that great. And that's become this psychological oppression upon everyone. To resist that in yourself and to help other people resist that, to love yourself more by and in order to love other people more, in that loving other people more helps them resist those feelings as well. And the people who are feel the best about themselves still have hard days or things they feel bad about. And plenty of people feel bad about things. And when you get right down to it, most people should not feel bad about for the things that they feel bad about, no matter what they are. But it would really help for other people to help each other not feel bad about things and to just overcome the whole culture of feeling bad by replacing it with a culture of feeling good. You start with yourself, and anyone you have the opportunity to express love for in any form, be it help or communication or inspiring people by doing creative things. And that's the other main thing, is that part of loving yourself is discovering yourself, which is often best done in some sort of creative context, like hopefully everyone can write or just talk, tell your story. But if you don't feel comfortable with one form, try another form, but be you in some way that's creating out of who you are to discover who you are. And recognize that we've all, even if you never thought you were going to be an artist and got put off by people telling you can't be an artist, everybody knows that's kind of a thing. And even if you don't think about yourself as being an artist, activate and acknowledge the artistic part of yourself. Whoever you are, as far from artistic as you think you are, activate that part of yourself as a rebellion against the system that says you can't, and the system that says people are bad and they don't want to hear from you or whatever. And put it on YouTube, put it out there any way you want. Share it with whoever you feel comfortable sharing it with. But you're sharing it with yourself in the process of creating it, which is something we don't do because we put ourselves aside in order to, go to work basically. And this era of the pandemic has reset people's thinking about stuff, and many people have appreciated themselves and their families and their private lives, their personal lives more, and realize that they don't need to sacrifice that for some dream of a job. And hopefully people have found good things, but it helps everyone find good things about themselves to have some type of contact and inspiration, communication with others. And the best thing about expressing yourself, initially, it's that you learn and benefit from it as you're doing it. But the other side of that is you will see people's response to it. Like it happens in magical ways. You create something, and that something you create goes on to trigger other things and set off a chain reaction of like a firework that turns into more fireworks. And when you see those types of responses, it's really amazing and encouraging, and it's enough to want to keep doing things and to do different things and to just get out there, get out of this. Get out there in the world is kind of the way we've all thought of it. But get out there, get out of yourself, get out of the things that block yourself from loving yourself and finding out who you really are and more to love about yourself. Because lots of people feel bad, but there's always good things within us. And with all the bad, it's easy to lose those and focus on the bad. That's why it's so important to yourself and to help other people. Love yourself and consider loving yourself the ability to love other people better. And that makes it easier in our context where you're always talking about you can't have anything, you don't deserve anything. You do deserve everything. Like you are loved and you are love. And the more you get into your love, the more you will be who you really are. So I hope this is helpful for somebody. And if it is, maybe leave comments or links to your views on stuff. And I'd love to hear from you and nice to meet you. And stay tuned for more. I was making some political videos recently, but I had to stop and make this one because I think it's important. And back to regularly scheduled programming or whatever comes up. So thank you and have a great day. Oh, Animal Crossing helps people learn loving each other and themselves too. It's really great. So if you get a chance, try Animal Crossing. Have fun.